The skies above Seoul darkened as the Draconian warships entered Earth's atmosphere. Dr. Yoon Park stared at her computer screen in disbelief. For months, she had tracked the unusual energy signatures approaching from beyond Mars, but no one had listened. Yoon pushed her glasses up and ran her fingers through her short black hair. The satellite data showed 5 massive objects slowing down as they approached Earth. She had been watching them for 67 days now. At first, they moved like asteroids, but asteroids don't change direction or slow down. The phone rang 3 times before Director Lee answered. "Director Lee, please reconsider," she pleaded into her phone. "The objects are decelerating. Natural phenomena don't decelerate." Director Tae Lee sighed. "Dr. Park, the Defense Ministry has more pressing concerns than your space anomalies." "But, sir, they will reach Earth in less than an hour. We need to alert—" The call ended abruptly as the first tremors shook the Seoul Aerospace Center. Hyun grabbed her desk as her coffee mug fell to the floor and shattered. Outside her window, massive triangular shadows blotted out the sun. The Draconians had arrived. Yoon watched in horror as the first ship, at least 2 miles wide, hovered over downtown Seoul. It made no sound, it just hung there, blocking the sky. Then came another and another. Soon 5 ships formed a pattern above the city. People in the streets below pointed up and screamed. Cars crashed. Some people ran while others stood frozen, looking up with their phones recording the ships. Yoon grabbed her laptop and research notes. If these were aliens, her data might be important. She rushed to the elevator, but the power went out. The emergency lights came on, casting everything in red. She took the stairs instead, running down 10 floors until she reached the street. Outside was chaos. Traffic had stopped completely. A nearby bus had crashed into a light pole. The air felt different, heavier, electrical. Yoon's skin tingled. As she looked up at the massive ships, a bright beam of light shot down from the center of the largest ship. It hit the ground in the middle of the city's main square. The beam widened, and within it appeared 3 tall figures. Yoon pushed through the crowd to get closer. She needed to see. The figures were at least 8 feet tall with scaled skin that shimmered like oil on water. Their bodies were powerful and reptilian. Their eyes, 4 on each face, glowed yellow. They wore armor that seemed to shift and move like liquid metal. Draconians, Yoon whispered, giving them a name based on their dragon-like appearance. One of the aliens raised a device. Suddenly, every screen in the city, phones, billboards, TVs, showed the same image, the 3 aliens. Voice boomed from everywhere at once, speaking in perfect but oddly flat Korean. "People of Earth, you are now under the protection and control of the Draconian Empire. Resistance is unnecessary and will be met with correction. Your leaders will present themselves for processing. Your lives will continue with minimal disruption, if you comply." Halfway across the world, General Dae Kim was eating dinner with his family in Washington, D.C., when his secure phone buzzed. As head of the United Nations Joint Military Command, he rarely got calls on this line. When he did, it was never good news. "Kim speaking," he answered, stepping away from the table. "General, Seoul is under attack. And not just Seoul. We have reports coming in from Beijing, Moscow, London, New York, and Tokyo. Sir, it appears to be extraterrestrial." Day almost laughed, but the officer wasn't joking. "Show me." His phone screen filled with live footage from Seoul. Day saw the ships and the aliens. His heart raced. This wasn't possible. "Get me to the Pentagon, now," he ordered. Within 30 minutes, Day sat in the Joint Chiefs war room. Screens showed the same scene in cities worldwide. Alien ships, strange beings, the same message playing. Everywhere. "What are our options?" asked the US President on the video call. "Limited, sir," said Day. "Their technology is clearly far beyond ours. We have reports of all electronic defenses failing near the ships. Jets won't fly close to them. Missiles turn back or explode mid-air. So we surrender?" asked the British Prime Minister. "No," said Day firmly. "We buy time, we pretend to negotiate while we learn about them. Find weaknesses, share information globally." "And if there are no weaknesses?" asked the Chinese president. Day looked at the screens showing the massive ships. "There are always weaknesses. We just need to find them." As the world leaders talked, the Draconians began setting up bases in each major city. They moved with military precision, establishing control zones and communication centers. In Seoul, Yeon Park had joined a group of scientists trying to understand the alien technology. She worked tirelessly, analyzing the energy signals the ships gave off. They used some kind of gravitational manipulation, she told her colleagues. That might explain why our jets can't get near them. As night fell, humanity faced its greatest challenge. They had no weapons that worked against the invaders, no way to communicate globally without the aliens listening, and no understanding of what these Draconians ultimately wanted. But what the Draconians didn't understand was the human spirit. As General Dae Kim told the assembled world leaders, they expect us to surrender because that's what their other conquests did. But we are not like the others. We will fight, and we will win. Colonel Sun Choi led his squadron through the ruins of Busan. 3 weeks had passed since the initial Draconian assault. Their weapons had turned skyscrapers to dust and military bases to craters, yet humanity fought on. The once busy port city now lay in ruins. Broken glass crunched under Sun's boots as he moved. His 5-person team followed close behind, each carrying weapons taken from fallen Draconian soldiers. The alien guns were heavy but powerful. One shot could melt through steel. Sun raised his fist and everyone stopped. His heart pounded as he peered around a fallen concrete wall. "Hold position," Sun whispered, as a Draconian patrol stomped past, their hiding spot. The reptilian soldiers stood nearly 3 meters tall, their scales gleaming with an iridescent sheen under their armor. The ground shook with each step the aliens took. They communicated with clicks and hisses. Their 4-fingered hands held weapons that looked like they were grown, not built. 2 Draconians stopped near the humans' hiding place. One seemed to sniff the air. Sun held his breath. The alien was so close he could see the patterns on its scales, like living circuits that pulsed with light. After what felt like forever, the patrol moved on. "That was too close," whispered Mina, the team's medic. Her face was dirty and tired, but her eyes remained sharp. Once clear, Sun's team proceeded to their target, a downed Draconian scout ship. The small craft had crashed 3 days ago after a lucky hit from one of Earth's few remaining fighter jets. The pilot died taking it down, but his sacrifice might not be in vain. They approached the ship carefully. It looked like a giant teardrop made of metal that flowed like water. There was no obvious door or window, just smooth, dark material that reflected no light. Engineer Hana Yu immediately began examining the alien technology. Her small hands moved over the surface of the ship, looking for a way in. She had been a car engineer before the invasion. Now she was humanity's best hope at understanding alien tech. "There must be a way to open it," she muttered, tapping her fingers along the hull. Suddenly, a section of the ship melted away, forming an entrance. The team jumped back, weapons ready. "It responds to touch," Hana said, eyes wide with excitement. "Maybe it can read our electrical impulses." Inside, the ship was larger than it looked from outside. Curved walls were covered with moving symbols and pulsing lights. In the center was what looked like a control chair, but shaped for a Draconian body. Their systems use quantum principles, but there's something familiar about the interface, she muttered. "I think I can access their communications network." Sun posted guards at the entrance while Hana worked. He watched as she connected her tablet to the alien system using cables she had made herself. Her fingers flew over her screen, trying different approaches. "It's like they built their tech on top of principles similar to ours, but took it in a completely different direction," she explained. "Like we both started with fire, but they made ovens while we made engines." After an hour, she pumped her fist in the air. "I'm in. I can see their communications. They're planning an attack on the resistance base near Daegu tomorrow." Sun smiled for the first time in weeks. "Can you send false information?" "Not yet," Hana said, "but I might be able to tap into their network. If we can get this data to Jin, he might be able to use it." Miles away, Jin Kang, a high school computer prodigy, had discovered something crucial. Draconian communication protocols had exploitable vulnerabilities. Working from his family's basement shelter, he developed a virus that could disrupt their battle coordination. Jin was only 17, but he had been coding since he was 7. The basement was lit by emergency lights powered by solar panels he had installed himself. 5 computers ran different programs, all analyzing Draconian communications intercepted from their towers. It's like they never expected anyone to try to hack them, Jin told his father, who brought him a bowl of rice. Their security is advanced but rigid. They don't adapt. Jin had discovered that the aliens' communications followed strict patterns. Once he understood those patterns, he could predict them, and what he could predict, he could manipulate. His virus was simple but clever. It would wait until a command was sent, then change small details, locations, times, targets. Not enough to alert the Draconians that something was wrong, but enough to cause confusion and wasted resources. If we can get this into their main network, Jin said, we could make them fight shadows while we hit their real weakness. On the main Draconian ship hovering above what was once Seoul, Commander Apex watched reports from his forces with growing concern. The tall Draconian stood on a platform overlooking a room filled with holographic maps and data streams. His scales were darker than other Draconians, marked with the gold patterns of high rank. The Draconian Commander Apex watched with growing concern as human resistance stiffened rather than crumbled. His species had conquered 17 worlds. How could these primitives cause such trouble? Explain this, he hissed to his second-in-command. Why are our forces reporting increasing resistance? These humans have primitive technology. They adapt quickly, Commander, the officer replied. They learn from each defeat, and their small size allows them to hide where our soldiers cannot follow. Apex slammed his clawed hand on the control panel. Unacceptable. The Supreme Overlord expects results. We promised him Earth would fall in 1 month. That time is almost up. Perhaps we should use the planet burners, suggested the officer. End this quickly. Apex considered this. The planet burners would turn Earth's surface to glass, killing all life. But the Supreme Overlord wanted Earth's resources intact. And Apex had never failed a conquest before. His pride would not allow it. No, he decided. Increase patrols, find their leaders, cut off the head and the body will die. What Apex didn't realize was that humans didn't work that way. Cut off 1 head and 2 more would take its place. He was about to learn this lesson the hard way. Captain Ji-Ri couldn't believe the reports. Are you certain? She asked the scientist before her. Yes, Captain, replied Dr. Yoon Kim. The Draconians are developing respiratory issues. Earth's atmosphere contains microbes their immune systems can't process. They stood in an underground lab beneath Seoul. What was once a subway station was now a resistance headquarters. Men and women worked at computers made from parts taken from Draconian technology. Maps covered the walls, showing alien positions and human strongholds. G walked to the glass case where they kept the captured Draconian. The alien had been dead for 3 days, but its body had taught them much. Its scaled skin was now covered with small red spots that hadn't been there before. Show me the evidence again, G said. Dr. Yoon pulled up images on his tablet. We've been watching the Draconians for weeks. At first we thought they were unbeatable, but look at this footage. The video showed Draconian soldiers on patrol. One stopped suddenly, its chest expanding as it struggled to breathe. Another removed its helmet, revealing 4 blinking eyes and a face twisted in pain. It's getting worse for them each day, Yoon explained. Earth's bacteria and fungal spores are something they've never encountered. Their bodies don't know how to fight them. G smiled. It wasn't much, but it was hope. How long until this affects all of them? Hard to say. Weeks, maybe. Their ships have air filters, but when they come out to patrol, they breathe our air. Each time, they carry more microbes back to their ships. A month into the invasion, humanity had discovered several Draconian weaknesses. Their rigid, hierarchical command structure collapsed when communications failed. Their troops became disoriented in Earth's magnetic field. And now Earth itself was fighting back through its microscopic defenders. G took this information to General Kim. In the war room, maps showed Draconian positions around the world, red dots for their bases, blue for human resistance. So Earth itself is our ally, General Kim said after hearing the report. But we can't wait for bacteria to win this war. The Draconians are still killing thousands each day. He stood before the assembled resistance leaders from around the world, joining by secure video. It's time for Operation Thunderbolt. General Kim authorized Operation Thunderbolt, coordinated guerrilla strikes worldwide using modified Draconian technology. Ordinary citizens joined the resistance, from farmers poisoning water supplies used by alien bases to children creating distractions for military strikes. In Paris, bakers added a special mold to bread delivered to human workers in Draconian bases. The mold wouldn't hurt humans, but would spread through the air systems to the aliens. In Rio, fishermen set underwater traps that disrupted Draconian scanners, creating safe zones for resistance boats. In Tokyo, an elderly gardener planted fast-growing bamboo around a Draconian landing pad. Within days, the stems had grown through their equipment, causing malfunctions. Captain G led a team to capture Draconian weapons. They learned that the aliens' energy guns could be modified by humans. The weapons were designed for Draconian hands, but with simple changes, humans could use them too. Their technology is advanced but not magic, explained Hana, who had become the Resistance's chief engineer. They rely on quantum fields and gravity manipulation, but the principles can be understood. Jin, the teenage computer genius, had successfully deployed his virus into the Draconian communication network. Now 1 in 5 messages contained subtle errors. Patrols went to wrong locations. Supply ships landed at the wrong bases. "We don't try to take down their whole system," Jin explained to Captain G. "Just create small problems that grow bigger over time." In a small village outside Delhi, children played games near Draconian patrols. They'd run and hide, causing the aliens to waste time looking for them. While the Draconians were distracted, resistance fighters slipped past to attack the main base. In the Draconian command ship, Apex faced mounting problems. His supply lines were stretched thin, reinforcements were months away, and his troops were falling ill with mysterious ailments. The easy conquest had become a nightmarish quagmire. "Another patrol lost in Sector 7, reported his officer, and 30 soldiers reported sick today. Apex's scales had lost their shine. His own breathing felt labored." "What is causing this illness?" "Unknown. Commander, our medical units can't identify the pathogens. They're unlike anything in our database." Apex moved to the command center's window and looked out at Earth. The blue planet had seemed so simple from space. Just another world to add to the Empire. Now it felt like the planet itself was fighting back. "The Supreme Overlord demands answers," said his second-in-command. "He expected Earth to be conquered by now." "Tell him we face unexpected resistance," Apex replied. "These humans, they don't fight like other species we've conquered. When we destroy their military bases, they fight from the shadows. When we control their leaders, common people continue to resist." A warning light flashed on the control panel. Another communication failure. Jin's virus was working. "Our dropships are reporting navigation problems," said an officer. 3 crashed yesterday. Apex slammed his fist on the console. "Find the source of these failures." But the problems kept growing. Draconian soldiers were getting sick faster than they could be treated. Equipment malfunctioned in Earth's magnetic field. And the humans kept attacking, always in different ways, always adapting. That night, as Apex tried to sleep, he felt a tickle in his throat. He coughed and pain shot through his chest. Looking in the mirror, he saw small red spots beginning to form on his scales. Earth's invisible defenders had reached the command ship. Time was running out for the Draconians. In the Resistance headquarters, Captain G and General Kim planned their next move. The information from Dr. Yoon gave them hope, but they couldn't rely on bacteria alone. "We need to strike while they're weakened," G said. "Hit them before they find a cure for their illness." General Kim nodded. "Prepare all teams. In 3 days we launch our largest attack yet. If the Draconians want Earth, they'll have to pay for it with their lives." "Advance," shouted Lieutenant Han Park, as Earth's united forces stormed the Draconian base in what was once Incheon. Armed with reverse-engineered weapons, the human soldiers fought with ferocity that shocked their alien opponents. Rain poured down as Han led the charge. 200 soldiers followed him, each carrying weapons that glowed with blue energy. These were Draconian guns, modified by Hana and her team to fit human hands. The rain helped hide their approach until they were at the base. Perimeter. The Draconian base had once been Inchen's port. Now alien structures rose from the water like giant metal trees. Guard towers scanned the area with red beams of light. But the aliens were sick, and their systems were failing. Half the scanning beams flickered or pointed in wrong directions. Team 1, take the east gate. Team 2, with me to the command center, Han ordered. His voice was calm despite the danger. He had been a police officer before the invasion. Now he led Earth's best fighting force. The first Draconian guard spotted them too late. Han fired his weapon, and blue energy hit the alien square in the yi. Chest. The giant creature fell with a heavy thud. More aliens appeared, but they moved slowly, many coughing and struggling to breathe. They're weaker than last week, said Mina, Han's second in command. The illness is working. The human soldiers pushed forward. Their smaller size let them duck behind cover where the tall Draconians couldn't hide. They moved in pairs, covering each other as they advanced deeper into the base. Meanwhile, aboard the Draconian mothership high above Earth, Hana Yu and Jin Kang prepared to deliver their final blow. They had sneaked onto the ship 3 days, ego disguised as human workers. The Draconians used some humans to clean and perform simple tasks, not realizing these particular humans were resistance fighters. Is the device ready? Hana asked. She wore a cleaner's uniform, her tools hidden in a mop bucket. Jin nodded. The teenager had dark circles under his eyes from lack of sleep, but his hands were steady as he connected his laptop to a Draconian data port. I need 5 minutes to upload the virus to their main system. You have 2, Hana replied, watching the corridor. Guards will be back soon. Jin typed faster than he ever had before. His virus was his masterpiece, designed to take down the entire Draconian communication network. It would change orders, reroute ships, and turn the aliens' rigid hierarchy against them. Done, Jin whispered, as footsteps approached. They hid in a maintenance closet just as Draconian guards walked past. In the ship's central control room, alarms suddenly blared. Screens flickered as Jin's virus took hold. Communication officers pressed buttons frantically, trying to stop the damage. What's happening? Demanded a sick and tired Commander Apex. Communication system failure, Commander, replied an officer. We're receiving conflicting orders. Across the alien fleet, confusion spread rapidly. Draconian ships received orders. That made no sense. Patrol groups got instructions to attack each other. Defense systems shut down, then restarted with wrong targeting parameters. Back on the ground, Han's team reached the center of the Incheon base. They fought room by room, pushing deeper as the confused Draconians tried to respond. Many aliens were too sick to fight effectively, their once mighty bodies weakened by Earth's microscopic defenders. The command center is ahead, Han said, pointing to a dome-shaped building. Once we control it, we can shut down their defenses. Around the world, similar scenes played out as humanity launched a coordinated counterattack. The Draconians, so certain of their superiority, had never developed contingencies for prolonged resistance. In New York, resistance fighters used sewers to bypass Draconian checkpoints. In London, modified Draconian weapons took down a scout ship. In Cairo, locals used the desert sand to clog alien machinery. The Draconians had conquered 17 worlds before Earth. On each planet, resistance had crumbled quickly. They had never needed backup plans or extended supply lines. Their technology had always been enough, but humans were different. Humans adapted, learned, and never stopped fighting. On the mothership, Commander Apex watched his invasion crumble, with disbelief. His scales were covered with red sores. Each breath hurt his lungs. Half his officers were too sick to stand. We must end this, he wheezed to his remaining staff. Prepare the atmospheric incinerators. The atmospheric incinerators were the Draconians' most deadly weapon. They would burn Earth's air, killing all life but leaving minerals and resources intact. It was forbidden by Draconian law, except in the most extreme cases. But Apex was desperate. Commander Apex, now desperate, ordered the deployment of their ultimate weapon, atmospheric incinerators that would render Earth uninhabitable but preserve its mineral resources. His order never reached the weapon platforms, intercepted by Jin's virus. Instead, the Draconian commanders received different orders: retreat to the mothership for emergency evacuation. As the alien forces consolidated, humanity prepared for its final strike. "Commander, all ground forces are returning to the ship," reported an officer. "Did you authorize this?" "What? No!" Apex tried to cancel the order, but the communication system wouldn't respond. Jin's virus had complete control. All across Earth, Draconian soldiers abandoned their posts. Scout ships lifted off, heading to the mothership. Heavy weapons were left unguarded. Bases emptied as the aliens followed false orders. Han couldn't believe his eyes as he reached the Incheon command center. The Draconians were leaving, boarding ships and flying away. "What's happening?" Mina asked. Han smiled. "Jin's virus worked. They think they've been ordered to retreat." He contacted General Kim immediately. "Sir, the Draconians are withdrawing, all of them heading to the mothership." General Kim's voice crackled over the radio. "The same is happening worldwide. This is our chance. All teams prepare for the final strike. We take their mothership today." As Draconian forces rushed back to their main ship in confusion, Earth prepared its greatest attack. The war wasn't over, but for the first time victory seemed possible. Dr. Yoon Park stood on the bridge of the captured Draconian vessel alongside General Kim. The stolen ship was small compared to the giant mothership they approached, but it would serve their purpose. Through the front window, Earth looked beautiful and blue. "The physics are complex, but the principle is simple," she explained. "Their interdimensional drive creates a quantum cascade when activated inside a gravity well. They never use it near planets for this very reason." Dr. Park pointed to the alien engine room on the ship map. Since the invasion began, she had studied Draconian technology day and night. What once seemed like magic now made sense to her. Their ships could jump through space by bending reality itself, but only in deep space. Trying to do this near a planet would be like lighting a match in a room full of gas. "And you're sure it will work?" asked the general. General Kim looked tired. 2 months of fighting had left deep lines on his face. He had led Earth's defense from the beginning, and now he would lead the final attack. "The Draconian technical manuals are quite explicit about the danger," she replied. "They have 3 pages of warnings about using the drive near planets. It could tear open space itself." The general nodded. It was their best chance. The Draconians had gathered their entire fleet around the mothership, following the false retreat orders from Jin's virus. All the eggs were in one basket. "Captain Han, take us in," ordered the general. The stolen ship approached the mothership, broadcasting Draconian authentication codes. Jin had stolen these codes during his time on the ship. To the Draconians, they appeared to be a returning patrol vessel. In the engineering section, Hana and Sun made final modifications to the drive. They had rewired the ship's engines to overload when activated. The normal safety systems were now bypassed. "This should create enough energy to start the cascade," Hana said as she connected the last wire. Her hands were steady despite the danger. "Once it starts, the reaction will spread to any Draconian ship using the same technology." Sun checked the emergency escape pods. "We'll have 3 minutes after activation to get out." Meanwhile, Earth prepared its final attack. Every remaining jet, helicopter, and modified Draconian scout ship rose into the air. They would not be enough to defeat the alien fleet, but they didn't need to win. They just needed to distract. "All forces begin attack pattern Alpha," General Kim ordered through the radio. Earth's aircraft swarmed toward the mothership from all directions. They fired missiles and guns at the giant alien ship. Most shots bounced off the Draconian shields, but the attack drew the aliens' attention away from the small stolen ship approaching from below. Commander Apex watched the human attack with confusion. He stood in the mothership's command center, his body weak from illness, his mind clouded by fever. "Why do they attack now? They must know they cannot win," he said. A warning light flashed on the control panel. "Commander, a patrol ship is docking at Bay 12. They did not follow proper protocol." Apex's 4 eyes narrowed. Something was wrong. "Send guards to Bay 12 immediately," but it was too late. The infiltration team had already entered the mothership. Dr. Park led the way, following maps that Jin had created during his time aboard. General Kim and 10 soldiers followed, using stolen Draconian weapons to fight through the few guards they encountered. Most Draconians were focused on the attack outside, and many were too sick to fight well. The team moved quickly through empty corridors toward the ship's core. "This is it," Dr. Park said when they reached a massive room filled with glowing blue energy. The main drive control room. As Earth forces launched a massive attack to distract the Draconians, the infiltration team reached the mothership's core. They activated the modified drive and escaped in emergency pods. Dr. Park worked quickly, entering commands into the alien computer. The others guarded the doors, holding off the Draconian soldiers who had finally realized the danger. "Drive activation sequence started," she announced. "We have 3 minutes." General Kim fired his weapon at approaching aliens. "Everyone, to the escape pods now." The team ran through the corridors, fighting their way to the small escape vessels. Outside, Earth's aircraft began to retreat, their diversionary attack complete. Dr. Park was the last to enter an escape pod, launching away from the mothership just as the countdown reached 0. Commander Apex realized the trap too late. Warning. Alarms filled the command center. The drive was activating, but they were still in Earth's orbit. "Shut it down," he screamed, but his officers could not stop the sequence. "Commander, energy levels are beyond control parameters," reported a frightened. Officer Apex looked out the window at Earth, the planet that had defeated him. In his 17 conquests, he had never faced a species like humans. Perhaps they deserved to survive after all. The quantum cascade triggered a chain reaction throughout the gathered Draconian fleet. Space itself seemed to fold around the massive ships, compressing them into a brilliant pinpoint of light that expanded outward in a silent flash. From Earth, people watched as a new star briefly appeared in the sky. The light grew blindingly bright, then collapsed in on itself. When it faded, not a single Draconian vessel remained in Earth's skies. The escape pods carrying Dr. Park, General Kim, and the others were just far enough away to survive the blast. Earth's gravity pulled them home, where they were greeted as heroes. 6 months later, Dr. Park addressed the United Earth Council. The large room was filled with leaders from every nation. For the first time in history, Earth was truly united. The powerful Draconian Empire will eventually realize their fleet is lost. But we've gained decades of technological advancement. When they return, Earth will be ready. She showed images of new ships being built with Draconian technology. Scientists and engineers from around the world worked together, learning the aliens' secrets and improving upon them. General Kim nodded in agreement. The Draconians invaded Earth. None returned to tell the tale. And when their empire comes, looking, they'll find a very different humanity waiting for them. Dr. Park looked out at the rebuilt cities. The invasion had been terrible, but humanity had emerged stronger, united at last, reaching for the stars with new knowledge and purpose. The next time aliens came to Earth, humans would meet them as equals. The end.